Good evening, welcome to Channel 2 Independence News. We're here with Karina Flores and Vivian Vargas. We've just received news from the Boston Massacre that the tea has been dumped into the ocean due to rising taxes. Just last week, several colonists were killed in the Boston Massacre. These actions are most likely going to fuel the fire between us and Great Britain, possibly leading up to revolution. In other news, Vivian, let's talk about the Continental Congress.
Some acts recently taken by the Congress are an embargo on British goods and the writing of the Declaration of Independence, with John Hancock as the President of the Congress, only adding to King George's anger.
Now to the Articles of Confederation. With these articles, Congress can make wars, peace, treaties, set up monetary system, build navies, armies, and settle disputes among the states. The states have to agree to the Articles and Act of Congress, provide funds and troops, allow open travel and trade, and submit disputes to Congress for settlement. The problem with the articles are Congress have no power to tax and ask for money from states. Trade between states cannot be regulated, can only exercise power within 9 out of the 13 consents, and the articles can only be changed with all states' approval.
Now let's get to the plans. The government will be proposing 2 new plans. The first is the Virginia Plan, which will be calling for 3 branches of government, which are the legislative, Senate will be elected in each state and based on population, and also chosen from a list of people nominated by state legislatures. The next branch is the executive. The general authority will execute national laws. And the last branch is the judicial, which involves 1 or more Supreme Courts and other inferior courts. But I'm hearing that a lot of states don't approve of this plan. The next plan is the New Jersey Plan. It consists of 1 or more House where Congress is equally represented. The main issues of these plans is disagreement on how states will be represented.
To the sports segment here with Miriam
And Vivian.
Last week we had the colonists versus the British go head-to-head at the Colonist Stadium with a surprise victory by the colonists.
You know, it was a real shocker for everyone. You have the British, who are returning champs, going against a new team full of rookies. This was a surprise for everyone. Did not see this coming. We hope to see more from the colonists this season. Now to Gabby, our field reporter.
I'm Gabby, and I'm standing right outside the White House where the Constitution has just been approved. Now, there are some catches to it, and there are like 3 compromises. The first one I'm going to talk about is the Connecticut Compromise, which is also known as the Great Compromise. That is where there are 2 houses of Congress, and there will be a Senate to represent each one of the houses. But the House is based on your guys' population. Compromise is the 3/5 compromise. And population was a big question when they were making these. So they decided that since there are lots of states, mostly South states, that have slaves, 3/5 of your slaves can be counted into your population. Now, all the states mostly wanted to have their slaves, but not Massachusetts. Massachusetts was totally against this. And that's okay, Massachusetts, we all support you. And the next one is the Commerce Slave Trade Compromise. That is when the Congress should have the power to regulate foreign and interstate trades, okay? And the South was really afraid of this. They were just like, no, don't do that. Well, I'm sorry, South. Would only agree to this compromise if the Congress would provide them protection. So basically the Congress couldn't put tax exports from any state, and they also could not act on the slave trade for at least 20 years. So that is basically all the compromises that came after the Constitution has been approved. And again, I'm Gabby, standing right outside the White House. Thank you for watching, and have a good night.